I sent her to her digitally.
Okay.
I just sent her money.
That job you got.
All right, we'll call this a regular scheduled session of court into order. It's 9 o'clock. And today, I appreciate everybody being here. We'll start off with an invocation to Magistrate John Caywood. If John is ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
May we come together in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for our many blessings. As a community and as a country, we are a family. May we realize the value of each other with love and respect, regardless of our differences of thought. We are all special in our own way and have many skills and talents to help each other. May we recognize that this is the spirit we should live each and every day. Love one another, for this is the teachings of our Creator. Be with those who are protecting us from harm. We thank them for their willingness to serve and to sacrifice. We ask you to be with those who are suffering in so many ways. Wrap your loving arms around all, and may they know we are at their side. Be with our decision makers, and may we use wisdom and understanding to perform our duties. May we remember that we serve all and not just a few. Each day is a special day, a special opportunity, as it is a day to give back to others in need. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you. And if you'll join me in our pledge of allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next on the agenda are the minutes from the previous meeting on the 12th day of July.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion made by Magistrate Sammons to approve and seconded by Magistrate Short. Is there any changes or corrections that need to be made? All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Mariah, you're right on schedule.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you all will see, along with your agendas there, I've got a little printout of, we had some things added. One is the $5,000 for the backpack program, and the other is had a new ambulance. It's finally ready, so we're cutting a check for that, and it's registration as well. So that brings our total for bills to $1,222,826.01. Standing orders that have been paid out totaled at $495,785.71.
Move we pay the bills as presented.
All right.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I direct everyone to page 8.
Could we get a second first?
Second.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the bills as presented by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Now, question. Page 8.
This is, I just want to explain it, Bill. This is not.
Okay.
On page 8, I'm at the top of the page, and I just want to be sure, that's a pretty big figure. I just want to be sure everybody understands that's for 2 conferences, because the last one, they didn't know I was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is for that one, and this is for the one that's coming up. So
The-
that's for
the
2
Governor's
conferences.
Local Issues
Yeah.
Conference
I
coming
just
up.
want everybody to understand. That's why it seems pretty heavy, so I better explain that one. Thank you, sir.
All right.
He gets the penthouse. Don't worry.
Yeah, I wish.
And on that page, I will be removing one of those registration fees, because Julie did tell me that we are canceling hers. So that will be $300 less coming off that.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions or statements they'd like to make on the bills? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. And motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mariah.
Thank you.
All right. Now we're up to Darlene and budget transfers.
transfers were basically because of once a year type things where we're paying workers' comp and liability. So there were a few things that were just a little under, so I'm just covering those. The total on that is $35,463.46.
That's the budget transfers
Mhm.
total. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the budget transfers by Magistrate Gay, seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Any questions or comments on budget transfer? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and the motion carries unanimously. Next.
Okay, cash transfers. I'm actually making a change on these from what, and this just happened yesterday. The original amount in your packet was $240,000. We actually had a large payment come in to Public Works yesterday, so I could remove that one. So right now, I've got $15,000 plus $375,000. That $375,000 is to help cover the ambulance. So my total being $390,000 on cash transfers.
Make that motion as well to approve the cash transfer.
Second.
Motion to approve the cash transfers made by Magistrate Gay, seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Is there any questions or comments as described or presented? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and the motion carries. Thank you. Mike's not here. I was wondering when they're gonna go down to get that. I think in the next day or so, maybe today.
Yesterday, today.
Today, so that they can take the check with them when they pick it up, bring it back. That'll be good. All right, next, in your, iPads, you have a contract for, claim with McKinney Services. Recommendation is to extend it, which is authorized by contract. Is there any comments or questions?
Make a motion to approve it.
I'll second that one.
Motion to approve made by Magistrate Salmon, seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Now, is there any discussion and comments about the cleaning service? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and the motion carries. Thank you. Have in your packets a recommendation for an ethics board appointment. A lady who I think comes highly recommended and I think will be a tremendous resource and asset to the ethics committee. A lady, name is Sheila Kavanaugh. I'd like to put her name forward to be a member of the ethics board.
So moved.
Second. And motion to approve Sheila Kavanaugh made by Magistrate Ellis and seconded by Magistrate Salmons. Does anybody have any comments or questions or statements about that recommended appointment?
She's a fine lady, I know her real well.
Fine family. All cats on that.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. We'll get her a letter of appointment. The next is an alternative appointment to the Ethics Board. And although Ms. Kay Schaller is no longer the chairman of the Ethics Board, she has volunteered to be an alternate member of the board, which is a tremendous resource to fill in. And should somebody have a absence of necessity, and because of her background and where she's been, she has full knowledge of everything. So
Second.
I would recommend Ms. Kay Schaller to be appointed an alternate appointment. Okay, made by Magistrate Salmons and seconded by Magistrate Ellis.
Question,
Salmons?
that
Yeah.
certainly makes her a voting member if needed?
If needed.
Okay. I just didn't know how that fit
Yeah.
within the actual
If,
structure.
as an alternate, as a recognized court-approved alternate, she would have the voting authority should she have to fill in on a scheduled absence by a member.
Good.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and the motion carries unanimously. The last one on my list is that designate, there's paperwork in there to designate a open records custodian, and I would like to recommend that we consider Miss Julie Wagner to be that open records custodian.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Magistrate Caywood and seconded by Magistrate Gay. Is there any questions, comments, or discussions?
Having experienced, and this was years ago, a major delay in receiving something from the city of Danville. I know it's an additional burden, Julie, but this is a very important role when we get these inquiries, and in my experience, it was a very critical issue in the city. I didn't press them when they were over a week late, but I know that we need to keep to that schedule. It's under the statute.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations.
I guess.
Condolences.
Condolences.
Another job.
Yeah. Next we have Ms. Trille Bottom. And Trille, I guess the question on your presentation, I've got a judge's copy and a Trille's copy. Do I need to sign the Trille's copy for you to recognize court acceptance on this when we do?
No, not really. I don't know why.
She told me that you get your copy and she gets her copy, is what she
Well, I don't
told
need to
me.
sign her copy for.
She didn't
Not on the
say.
acknowledgement.
Okay.
I can just take it back to record though, because it's a good signature. Okay, well, good morning. Thank you, Judge. You all have a copy of the second quarter report, and I'm just here to present it for your all's acknowledgement. And I have a couple more items of interest, if I may.
Sure, yes
Okay.
ma'am, go ahead.
You all know that we've been working on refunds from the ad valorem tax back earlier, January, February. We've been sending all those out. At the end of the second quarter, we had sent out $8,653.89 in refunds. To date, we are almost up to $20,000. So what we did is we started with the governor mandated refunds that had to go out by a certain date in June. And then after that, we went back and picked up the ones that we felt like should be refunded, but weren't on that list, that had mandatory list. So we have went on and continued to refund people for their ad valorem tax if the assessment was the right assessment for 2021 that we could refund on. So just wanted you all to know that we went above and beyond to get people their refunds back. Also, and you all may have already mentioned this happened back in May, and I was in the middle of a primary election, so I don't know if you got this information or not, but I applied for a reimbursement for voting machines, a partial reimbursement, and you all may have already discussed it.
Yeah, I think from the Secretary of State's office.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just got notice about 2 weeks ago of what it actually went through, so that amount was $62,500 that the Cork County received back on the voting machine, so
Great.
that's a plus.
Thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
And that's all I have, so thank you very much.
So how do you, real quick, the numbers, how do they compare to, I was kind of looking to see how they compare
On the second quarter,
from previous?
well, we're right there at that halfway mark, so it's pretty consistent from year to year, very little changes. The only thing we have in this one, we did purchase new front counters, so that is reflected in the expenditure part of the budget.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, that's it just pretty even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you much.
Thank you. Y'all have a great
Appreciate
day.
it. You too.
Stay dry.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Shots fired, John.
I wonder
Too late.
if Janice is.
She's out there, I see her.
Oh, there she is. She is out there.
Perfect time.
Hello, everyone.
So,
Hello.
Well, I'm here to recognize our sheriff's office second quarter. So everybody's probably got that.
Yes.
So really nothing's changed. We're on track. We just got anything new or anything outstanding on here that probably wants anything. But if anybody's got any questions.
so same one I just asked, really, this, as far as comparatively from previous years, you feel like you're
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically about the same. We're tracking about the same, for sure,
Okay. Not up or not down or anything, just right there, huh?
right there.
Well, the
right
biggest
there.
loss they have is still their concealed carry
Yeah,
money
and
that they used to get. But
it is, but, you know, there'll be a spurt, you know, where people like they keep their concealed carries, and we have a lot of renewals. Now, you don't have a lot of new apps coming in like we used to years ago, but a lot of people still keep their concealed carry. So the same money when a renewal is due, so they'll come in and get their renewals. They keep them up. And a lot of people do that.
Janice, I traveled out of state briefly over the weekend, and I wanted to make sure that I was okay on reciprocity. And if you would look, I put a post on, and many of the people who replied, interestingly, said what I said. It is a good thing to have regardless of the fee, because
Or our state law.
it
if
will,
you
it
travel.
will help in any state that accepts it, and there are some that don't. Illinois is amazingly not very accepting, but I encourage everybody who has had it to get a renewal, because in a court case, it will work to your favor because you will have gone through training, both written and shooting. It is not a heavy burden. It lasts 4 years still, right? Oh, it's 5 now, okay. And I was pleased, just as I reported about 4 years ago, that at one point there were more women in Kentucky getting concealed carry licenses than there were men. And the responses, and it was up near 80 this morning when I looked at it, the response to my post about concealed carry, there are significantly more women who are
Yep.
responding favorably to seeing the different state breakdown that's on the visual that you will see if you open up that post.
Yeah.
So I
All
really
ages.
encourage, it's more than just the money coming into
No.
the county. It's the protection of the person, God forbid, that he or she ever has to use that weapon.
Very good. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or statements?
no, thank you very much.
Thank you. This is acknowledgement like we've done in the past,
Yes,
so we
yeah,
acknowledge
it's just an
that,
acknowledgement on the
and
second
if
floor.
you will do me a favor, here's the sheriff's copy and my copy, once he signs them and dates
Yeah,
them.
I have a signed copy of the sheriff that I had him sign just the cover before he left. So you
You
want
can
to leave
get-
this one with you and let you just sign it, and you can make copies of it since he's already signed it?
Dolores.
That just because I thought, you want me to
So,
sign anything? And
What do you want, this one? Here you go.
I deleted Facebook off my phone,
And he signs that?
yeah,
so I'll go all the way through.
What do you
he
want?
can.
And then
Just
like share a few things, but I'm not running very much right now.
and I said, well, you sign it before you leave, and so he did. So I'll have a signed copy anyway.
I need one too for record.
Okay. Roger that. Thank you, guys.
Thank
So
you.
you need two, and you give me one or
I
whatever.
can make you a copy of the
Okay.
one he signed.
Okay, that'd be fine, that'd
Okay.
be fine.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Janice.
Have a great day. Nice
Same
meet
to you.
Tell the sheriff hello.
Okay, I probably won't talk to him.
I know.
Because they get
On
vacation.
vacation.
I don't try to bother.
Jayla Wofford.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So it looks like the first on there is I'm here to seek the fiscal court's approval to purchase UV lights for our heat and air. Basically what those will do is we have 18 units that belong to the jail, and they go into the air intake for the units. These will help control COVID, other illnesses in there. I've talked to 2 other jails. Kind of let them be the guinea pigs. They've already put these in. One of them is Ashland, Boyd County, and the other one is Green County or Greenup. It's up there. I get the 2 counties mixed up. Greenup, okay, it's there by them. And they said they noticed a big difference in their COVID cases.
Probably all, you know,
Yeah, because
airborne.
Yeah, because we're breathing the same air. If you have a cell in the back that's quarantined, that air's coming through in every cell.
Long
So-
before COVID, you'll recall Legionnaire's disease that broke out in Indiana. And it was the COVID of that time. So I strongly recommend that we.
I'll
So-
make the motion
And I'll
motion
second.
that we approve
And the good news is, it's not coming out of the budget, it's not costing any money to taxpayers, I can pay for this out of my canteen account, so It's not gonna cost the county any money. And then, one thing I wanna add, yearly we'll have to change the lights out. I think those lights are good for a year, and it's gonna cost me about $5,000 to $6,000 every year to change those lights out.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We have a motion to endorse, support, and
Make a motion.
made by Magistrate Gaines, second by Magistrate Ellis.
So has this been looked at by the joint jail?
We have not had a chance to take it, we just got the bids in. They are a sole source provider. I have provided that information to our county attorney, and he approved it, so.
So he signed the letter he needs to show that?
Yes, he has all the information he needs.
So you think joint jail will have any issues?
Can't imagine because it's coming out of canteen
Canteen,
funds. It's no expense to them.
And the canteen does not fall really under fiscal court or joint jail, where it's a separate, it falls under the jailer.
And it's a health issue for every inmate and employee.
So this is a great initiative of use of funds that he controls.
What much is in that canteen fund?
What kind of balance you keep in the canteen fund?
We're right now, we're about 270,000.
201?
70.
Just in the canteen fund alone?
Just, yes.
What can you do to get that down lower amount? I guess I'm not carrying.
Well, I don't carry it. I spend it, so I pay part of James Hunn's salary out of that for the reentry programs. I pay for the GED programs out of that. I'm also making monthly payments to CAECO for the sorter machine, which comes in. We buy educational supplies, those kinds of things out of there.
So could you pay all of James' salary out of that?
Well, I was until we were able to get a grant through Shepherd's House. So, but I'm also going to write a check probably next month to the fiscal court for $20,000 or $25,000 to go back out of that toward our medical expenses.
Well, that's great.
So I also, like all the road equipment, the guys that go out and work,
Yeah.
I buy all their mowers, their weed eaters, their gas, leaf
You're
blowers.
You're allowed to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's great.
So it's KRS is restricted. Basically, it has to be used for the benefit of the inmates.
Yeah.
And then about 2 years ago, they changed what I could do for safety and security. So there's certain things that we can use on the inside of the building I can pay for out of that account. So also I'm going to probably be coming back and buying a mower, a zero-turn mower for my inmate work crews and some different things. The vehicles, we purchased a vehicle, 2 vehicles, as a matter of fact, that they go out of. It's just that. We run that account like a business, and so we maintain it, and you know, like I say, it turns a profit, and that's money that we're allowed to use for the betterment of the inmate,
Right.
and the benefit of the county really when you see the guys that go out and work. So it's not costing taxpayers any money.
And you buy the paint the inside of the jail? Or
No,
that's not
can't use it for that.
Good try.
Brian, what did you say? Pico, you pay for what?
The sorter machine.
A sorter,
that's-
S-O-R-T-E-R?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a sorter something machine, but it's used to x-ray when they come in. It's kind of like when you go to the airport, you go through a scanner, body scanner.
Body scanner.
Is that the same machine we bought years ago?
Yes. And we're really, we're in need to replace that,
Yeah.
but I'm holding off until we figure out how we're gonna redo the building, because that sets out in our Sally Port. There's so much dust, and, you know, it gets hot and cold. It's hard on that machine, and it's not a good area for it, so I'm not really gonna waste the money until we figure out, plan on the building, so it'll have its own room.
They probably made a lot of improvements on that
They
machine
have,
too.
yeah. I think Barry Jailer Harmon purchased that.
Yeah.
So we have a motion to support and endorse, and there's no further questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Is this recoverable? Should we go to a new facility to take this technology and utilize it with upgraded systems if we need to?
It'll depend on what we replace the units with. If we
I
do that
understand,
right.
we don't know what that is
Yeah,
yet, but
so,
it would still be a resource or an asset.
yes, we may be able to maintain it. Of course, it'll depend on, the bulbs have to be specially made for
Right.
those units. So, but if not, if we have it for 2 years, it's still gonna, prevent a lot of illness inside the facility for 2 years, so it's still,
All right, next one. Yeah, we did.
and then next, I'm here to recommend that, we set our new daily, housing fee to $35.34. So July the 14th, we were able to start charging again. Before, you remember I came and told you about the circuit or the Supreme Court case, Kentucky Supreme Court case that said that basically stopped me charging housing fees, and we had to stop. So the legislature was able to fix that in their last session, which the Kentucky Jailers Association was a big part of, as well as others, but we fought for that. So basically, our new state pay is going to be $35.34 a day. KRS says we can charge up to 50, but I think we would shoot ourselves in the foot if we tried to or charge that much, because we won't collect it. So I think just to keep everything on the same level, I recommend the fiscal court approve the $35.34. And I'll just let you know, basically the new state pay with the raise is $33.19 for state pay, and the medical went up to $2.15. So that's how you get the $35.34.
Make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Master Gaines, second by Master Cullen, to, on the daily rate fee, Cullen, at the jail, $35.34. Is there any questions or comments?
This came through the committee.
Yes, I talked with Jamie and Tom about that.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
And I talked to both masters too about the lights on this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Appreciate it.
Angie?
All right, this is a new employee I just met myself, so. This is Jonathan Watkins, he goes by John. I think the workers are trying to give him a nickname already, so, but he's from Lancaster, and I really don't know that much about him just yet, but they all like him, and so he must be okay.
He's been through the processes with Steve and
Yep,
all
he's been
that.
through everything. He's started working. There's another one on the agenda. He don't start working until Monday, so I'll bring him in the next time. But John's already started working with us, and he's doing a good job. I don't know if he likes the shed or not, but he seems to be doing a good job.
What's his last name?
Watkins.
Inside, floating, or both?
He's inside. He's full-time. He's another full-time. We've lost a couple, so
Thank you.
we're
Make a
back to
motion
the
we
drawing
approve
board
both.
again.
Make a motion, we approve both.
Second.
Yeah, motion to approve both made by Master Cullen and second by Master Short. Any questions or comments or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Nice to meet
Congratulations.
you, welcome, thank you very much.
Thank you
Can I
much.
sort of take your meeting for a few minutes?
Sure.
Sure, go ahead.
First of all, I'm gonna get through this. Thank you all. You've been a great group, been through a lot the past month. I couldn't ask for a better family, working group, anything. Judge, Ronnie, they came 2 hours just for me, so thank you. And I know you don't want this told, but I'm gonna tell you, I'd blow up if I didn't say it. Ronnie and the judge bought my group a refrigerator that tore up. And they went together and bought that for my group so they could have cold drinks, food, and all that stuff. Next, Jason, thank you for thinking of us. You go up there and you bring them food, you bring us fruit, ice cream, they're spoiled. But thank you. Ronnie, why they voted you out, I'll never know. You're the best magistrate, and they'll regret it. Phil, you're still there. But I'm gonna say it, whether anybody likes it or not. Thank you, and thank you, thank all of you.
Be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome home.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Thank you.
All right, Mike's Dwayne's not here, and Dwayne is here. Dwayne, you got anything for us?
We are working on a discretionary fund submittal.
Yeah, okay.
And,
We'll do that today.
Judge and I will
And
finish
is
that up and get it ready to go.
Yeah, and specifically, mention Ward's Branch because, I'm getting several inquiries on it. I have, even since last year, I've gotten inquiries on it.
Ward's Branch is on that list, part of Springfield Road.
Springfield Road is on that list.
Yeah, and then part of Allen's Priest Cross Pike that we didn't include in our funding. Thought I'd put it on there and see what happens with it, so.
Is it gonna
We have
happen?
several. Huh?
Is that gonna be done? Allen Springs?
The west,
West
the
end.
south end.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're awaiting the state's approval. Could happen as early as this fall, if not, when approved.
This is additional funds, this is discretionary
Okay,
funds.
so they
these
might
are
not
additional
get done
funds.
this year then.
And we were.
We're hoping.
We received a phone, the judge did, received a phone call and asked why we hadn't submitted anything. Well, they sent us an email and told us there wasn't any money probably
Yeah.
6 months ago. So anyway, the door's been opened again, so we're gonna submit another list. We're gonna hope for the best.
Much appreciated.
Dwayne, did you get a chance to drive 3366?
Yes, I did.
Bluegrass?
Yes, I
Right
did.
there.
And we'll talk to them
Okay,
more about that as they begin to formulate their list for this next fiscal year.
okay, thank you.
He's talking about Bluegrass, the section of Bluegrass Pike that they did not resurface, or have not resurfaced.
That goes up to Gentry? It goes up to Gentry, yes.
Right.
It is getting in rough shape.
Yeah, it's showing,
It's deteriorated more than I realized over the last 2 years.
well, it needs to be on the list, I think,
Yes.
to get it started.
And we'll try our best to remember to talk to them.
And don't forget, I got a couple of other folks out there.
Yeah. I just sent an email, I just sent another email about one of them.
Thank you, sir.
Anything on 2168? So where the bridge is there?
I just have to keep reminding them about it.
Okay. It keeps dropping and it's getting.
I suspect they're gonna get a contractor in there to do that again, instead of, they don't like to go out there and just do that by hand,
No, I understand.
and that's what takes part of it, takes some time to get done.
And,
But I'll remind them about it, because they're in a new fiscal year, so they have some maintenance money.
Be mindful of ash trees. There's a major one. Actually, Ronnie, I got the call yesterday up your way on Persimmon Ridge,
Go ahead,
and they're all over the county. Dwayne's already taken out probably a dozen in my district alone because, John, they're dying. John's got the most magnificent ash tree in his
Well,
yard.
We're keeping it alive, but it's costing us a little bit. It's a major tree in our properties.
So this particular one apparently has heavy limbs hanging over the road there on Persimmon Ridge. So.
Yeah, that's actually something I've been trying to figure out. On Goggin, there's that one area that comes around the curve. There's a lot of trees just hanging out in the middle. How are they gonna get they've kind of cut the trees up this way, but the problem is that they're now starting to come down. So.
Can't do anything about them until they grow long enough that they can reach with a pole saw or something, clip some of them off. There's no
Okay.
way to clip
All
them.
right.
Because they can't climb up on the bank where the tree's at, just cut the limb,
All right.
because it's beyond the right of way, so.
We have any concerns with today's flooding?
Not yet,
Okay.
Right
but
now.
we'll see how much rain we get.
The question I'm getting some, and I know we've talked about it, it's gonna rain all week. When are you gonna try and strike the parking lot out here?
Hopefully here next week or so.
And pretty soon?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I know that people are saying, boy, it really needs it, cause it's just about all gone.
Yeah.
Except for the numbers. No, that'd be great. Thank you, Dwayne. And just for your information, Darren Sublet will be here at 2 o'clock today, I believe, to talk about the MOA with Norfolk Southern on our bridge. And so Dwayne and I'll meet with him. You're welcome. And
I'll be here.
Now, are they still separate from CSX out in my area where we had to get that area fenced?
Yes.
Okay.
They're separate.
Perfect. I talked to Mike. He said they don't have anything. They're preparing to go get the truck today and tomorrow.
Okay, good deal. Darlene? Did everybody do the cards?
I think so.
Chris?
Okay, adding back in, which I'll start with, I've got 2 new line items, which which actually aren't new. They were left out of the former budget, or out of this new budget, and it turns out we need to add them back in. So, one for solid waste building supplies, and the other was for parks utilities that we need to add back.
Do we just send that to DLG as an FYI?
No, because it's not, I'm just transferring money into
Oh.
the funds.
So need a motion.
I just need a motion.
Motion
So
to
moved.
add the
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ellis, seconded by Cullen, to add these to the budget. All those, any questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
The other thing, and I added this late, there's actually 3 different things. One, I had a financial report in summary, which just gave all of the ending totals. And I know it's hard to see. My printer was losing ink. But it just gave all the final 2022 FYE totals for revenue, expenses, transfers in, transfers out through the general fund. I also added in, and I did not get this added in until late yesterday, very late, very late yesterday, your 4th quarter report that I sent to DLG. So it is in your iPads. And I included on the last page of it is a summary sheet that I've done for you all before with the reconciliation of the banks and a summary of that 4th quarter report. From what I can tell, and I'm just kind of going off of what I saw last budget compared to this one, things look, fairly on target for where we were. I've lost my notes, but we had a little bit more in expenditures, but that was partly due to ambulances and vehicles and things like that. Receipts are fairly right on target. We got about what we expected, maybe just a little less, but pretty much on target. We accounted for some grants and so forth that we didn't get, so that's part of the difference. Encumbrances, we've got quite a bit. Those are a couple of ambulances, so, those add up. That, and if anybody has any other questions, or if you want to look over the report, I know I put it in late last night, so nobody probably got to see it, so if you want to look over it and have any questions, let me know.
Thank you.
All right. Very good, thank you. We'll start here with Manager Salmon to go around for any committee reports and take time for a report on your district. You okay? You good?
Yeah.
I don't have anything either.
Okay.
The Finance Committee met on July 20th at 9 a.m. It was myself, Magistrate Cullen, and Darlene. A lot of it she just talked about with the financials. That's right. With the financials being entered at the time she was working on those, and they are now, it sounds like, entered and up to date. We discussed needing to amend the budget to add the TAP grant at some point in time. We also discussed the possibility, and Judge, you mentioned this earlier to me, but we did, in that meeting, we did discuss the possibility of increasing the number of SRO officers to 5 in the Boyle County schools, and the fact that we needed to do some more work on that. Sounds like some more work's been done on it. And your report, I guess, in your report.
Yeah, I'll have some written, between now and next court session, some written information to present to you, and then we'll have a discussion about it next court session.
So you don't need a motion now?
No.
Okay, thank you.
And then we discussed the transition. Basically, Darlene gave us an update of how things are going as we're transitioning into the new system for financials. Yeah, what's it?
Springbrook.
Springbrook, yes,
Yeah.
thank you, I couldn't think of the name of it, but Springbrook, yes.
I'm looking forward to its full implementation. And
Yeah.
are we still on track for around September 1st?
Yes. As long as I get a couple of things done this week, we are on track for September 1st. So,
Sounds
everybody
like
be thinking of me this week.
Sounds like they're banging their heads on a lot of things that were done in the past, trying to figure out why, and it's taking an excessive amount of time. So,
And the meeting adjourned, and I would submit that report, so I'd make a motion for acceptance.
second.
Motion made by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Cullen to accept the minutes for the Finance Committee report. Questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Anything else? All right.
I appreciate somebody left this, see, how long do I get, is this for everybody?
No,
or do I-
it's for you on personal, because you requested that. Now, we can make it available to
It's
everybody.
in there, it's in your drive.
It's in your drives, okay, so it's in your
okay, everybody's
iPad.
got- And just for your information, this is a report on the Texas school shooting. And if anything, I could say this is what tells you what not to do. But I think it gives us some guidance to help understand really what happened more. This was I saw the congressman that did it down there. I think this may have been a draft, but don't hold me to it, but I think it's close enough for us to take some time to study it, for Brian to study it as he's putting together some plans. So I appreciate you all getting it for me, because I just mentioned it yesterday, so you all right on it. Thank you very much. The fire department is coming, and that may be something, Donnie said you were gonna say something about it. You wanna go ahead and say something?
Well, yeah, so we've got a groundbreaking on Station 8, which will be up off 33 right there at the prison grounds on Thursday at 11 a.m., I believe.
Correct.
I think that sounds
Yep,
right.
and
This
so,
Thursday?
huh?
This Thursday?
Yeah.
This Thursday, 11 a.m.,
Day
correct?
after tomorrow.
And so we're very excited and encouraged, and the people I've talked with up in that area are extremely appreciative, not only for the extra protection, but for the savings that they'll see on their insurance as well. So they're very thankful for the court supporting this, and
Hope everybody can show up for this
Well,
groundbreaking.
I'd like to be there, but I have another meeting in Frankfurt at the same time.
more important, Phil.
Well, I know it is.
Keep it local, Phil.
I'm chair of this committee too, and
Well,
I need to be on this one.
they need to move it for you.
Why don't you check with each one of them and see what are scheduled?
Oh, I ain't got that kind of time.
A reminder might be sent out.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to be sent out Thursday for Friday. This is
Just an email reminder, a text reminder, or what do you prefer?
Text would be
Text
fine.
reminder.
If you don't care.
whatever
That's
works
this
best.
Thursday at 11 a.m.
2:30, so.
Last thing, which Dr. Rouse coming?
So he's been invited. I guess I need to try and contact him and see when he can come.
Well,
How about if he comes the same time the other request?
That's, I would suggest that.
Okay.
I would suggest that. I think it's time. So, that's all I have, sir.
Okay, we will invite him to come the same time that, just so the court knows, Mr. Turbyfield has made it known that he would like to come speak to the court.
Okay.
So, and I will invite Mr. Roush to come at the same time.
Sounds great.
Okay?
Be next.
Is that all you got?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What'd you say, Phil?
Probably next court meeting.
Probably be the next court meeting. Yes, sir, go ahead.
All right, so on July 12th, make sure the date is right up here this time. The EMS committee met with myself, Magistrate Caywood, Director Rogers, and Tim Bryant. Runs for June, 531. We talked about the financial report and also a clinical coordinator. And then also there was discussion about a video proposal for Danville Cinemas that we actually did discuss ourselves. The discussion again is on sudden cardiac arrest facts and just trying to get people to start CPR sooner, which greatly saves lives. And I'll go ahead and submit that for approval.
Second.
All right, a motion to submit the EMS committee report made by Master Cullen, seconded by Master Caywood. Is there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
All right, so this Saturday, we've got two big events, so I'll only mention one because I'm sure Tom's going to talk about the other. But we've got the backpack block party over at Millennium, which this court has graciously sponsored. That'll be at Saturday, I forget the time, but
12 to a long
12 to
time.
9, I think is what it is, yeah. Yep, so I will need a nap in between. But, and then grateful for those of you that was able to make it out to the B25.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I was not feeling well that day, and given the people that were there, I did not want to chance anything, so I stayed home. Broke my heart, but I did get to see it fly over my house. So, talked about the groundbreaking. As far as EDP stuff goes, EDA goes, our lease with EDP ends on June of 23. But there is a clause in here, if we wish to take back the property sooner, where we have to give them a 6-month notice. So if anybody wants to see the lease, Julie was nice enough to get me a copy of it. But the lease does end, so we need to start thinking about uses of that property if we're going to be making changes, especially now that we don't have in partnership with EDP anymore in the county side. Some of you probably heard yesterday, but we actually lost 2 great people in the deaf community. Nancy Mann passed away, but also Shane Hodge. Shane worked over at KSD, was a bright face for the deaf community in this community. Sadly, he passed away while he was on vacation with his wife out of country. So heartbreaking. He was around my age, maybe possibly younger. So very, very, very hard loss for the deaf community yesterday. So I'd like everyone to keep them and their family in their prayers. So and that's all I have.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, the flowers look wonderful. I thank the people who are taking care of them around in the park. They
Yeah,
really
in Constitution Square, they
Yeah.
look great.
They look
James is doing a great job, and appreciate everybody's participation and involvement in that.
And if you see him, thank him.
Yeah.
He likes.
But it also answers the question where we are always concerned about whether the high school could produce, as good of flowers as somebody at Lexington.
The
And
question has been
answered.
A couple
And
years
then
in a
so,
row.
yeah, exactly. So thank you for bringing that up, John. But anyway, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
We'll get it to the right place. Okay, yes, sir, go ahead.
I'm gonna get comfortable. I saw this.
Can I address what John mentioned just a second? To address the flowers, we're getting ready to order again. We need to decide whether we need to order more, or if we've kind of reached a good number now. And I need to go out there and look around and see if they've all finally filled in and everything looks good. But if you, I want to mention that to Martha and let her, but that's fine.
We need expert garden club input.
But I need to let her know pretty quickly this week if we want to add another 100 plants.
I don't know what, excuse me, were they ordering, or are you ordering? What?
No, they order, the school orders the seeds and, they plant them in the greenhouse.
We sell, we buy.
I'll have her call you.
Isn't the mantra the more the better?
But I'm going to go down and look again too, because they have grown some more, because there were some spots that were bare. I mean, it looked fine, but, do you want it nice and thick or not thick? That's the question.
Could I ask one more real quick question? Was there much damage to the trees?
We have a lot of small limbs down. I have one decent sized limb that came down on the top of one of the big trees, but nothing major, thank goodness.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Motion we adjourn.
Not yet.
You try, Texas.
5 minutes.
All right, I'll do it in 5. First of all, I'd like to
Gave you 5 minutes.
say I'm grateful to Magistrate Caywood for bringing up security. If you saw the news this morning, one tiny detail could have made all the difference in the world. And it's regrettable because it's probably going to cause the termination of the principal of that school, because the very room where most of the carnage took place, the principal was aware of a minute detail and had put it on the shelf. The lock was broken on that door, and the teacher could not lock that door. I have mentioned the pencils in the doors. We had Magistrate Caywood, the judge, and myself were in a meeting with 24 people a few weeks ago, city, county officials, EMS, law enforcement, everybody was in there. And I will guarantee you, we can't cover things 100% of the time, whether a teacher puts a pencil in the door because he or she's carrying in 2 or 3 totes, or the situation of, I'll put that lock off for another week. That cannot happen. On a very positive note, this weekend, yes, we have the Turtle Derby, $1,000 if your the turtle comes in first. So please come out, and that's all day long. I'm going to be out there at 8 in the morning and probably home at 9 in the night. So,
You might actually have some flowing water.
I was gonna say, you got some water
yeah,
on there right now.
and a few weeks ago, we needed some Korean carp on there because the moss on the river was about that thick right there underneath the bridge, but it's gone now. Other events that are coming up, please put them on your calendar. Perryville's 160th commemoration is October 8th, so go ahead and start telling folks, and I'm glad we're telling folks through media here as well. The Portland Festival is October 15th. Again, please, folks, put that on your calendar. And it's not too early to talk about Portland's Christmas, because they'll start selling tables for that right away. Regrettable circumstance, and I hope we can do something about this. There was a shooting just across the line in Marion County, out near Portland. The shooter is still at large. The person on last report is alive, but barely in the hospital. There have been sightings of the perpetrator many times by many of my constituents, and I don't know how we address this, but I had to call the sheriff, and he was in Florida, and we talked 3 times total, and calls to his deputies. But I got calls from 3 women and 1 gentleman, because, well, for example, in Western Kentucky, if there's a break or even a van breakdown with prisoners and they're out on the highway until they can get another van to get them to the maximum security prison in Western Kentucky, it gets on the airwaves right away. And fortunately, last night I was able to get that on 2 of the radio stations as a news break, to be careful, be cautious, not only in Portland, but this gentleman apparently is from Mercer County, and he's still at large and dangerous, and he has an accomplice with him. The state police have put out basically what I'd call an APB, but we need to get that to the media as soon as something is known. So not only from my district, but anybody who knows of a circumstance like that, if we don't have a procedure in place, call me, and we will get something out to the media to warn people to be careful. ATVs in Portland are another problem. Chris, we've talked about it, the sheriff and I have talked about it. It's very difficult because by the time you're sending somebody out there to make an arrest for illegal behavior, which happens often, they're gone. I've been contacted.
I get calls on it too.
Oh yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I know they're coming and going from Junction and into back and forth with Portland. The historic Polk, Dr. Polk's office and home on Main Street is in dire condition, and I've made a commitment to work with our congressional delegation to look for some funds. We really need to be conscious of that one, because he was one of the primary physicians after the battle when so many lives were saved So I'll be following up with Julie and talking about how we might approach our congressmen, both outgoing and incoming. Constitution Square, we still have issues. Both Magic McCullough and I are on that committee, so we'll get back to it. I'm getting calls from my folks, and you may be too. Could we even televise without bringing the gentleman back in? 3 of us met to talk with the gentleman from Broadband a couple or 3 weeks ago, and my folks would like to have some kind of update about just what's going to go on, Judge. If we could get that same gentleman without bringing him into town, but have a briefing from him sometime at a future meeting.
Well, I think it would benefit the whole court, and not just your district, but the whole court, to get an update on that. So we will strike out to try and do that. I talked with Matthew Ellis yesterday, and he wants to have a pulse of the people down there to cover that. So we can see how we can cover both bases and with that information on broadband.
Thank you. It's very exciting, and I credit Missy with this. She got a call several weeks ago because I had put a scam alert on Facebook, and lo and behold, I don't know how Fox 56 picked up on it, but he came for an interview. But the follow-up now is extraordinary. The judge, along with CEO McCain from Ephraim McDowell, will be interviewed by that same reporter on Thursday, and we have so much to tell about our relationship with the jail. Is that my 5 minutes?
That's your 5 minutes.
The relationship with the jail, the relationship with EMS. So many things can be covered about our regional healthcare system and what the court does for them. So that's going to happen on Thursday morning. The legislature is asking for issues, so be thinking about that. I know Keiko is on top of that. The last thing, and I guess it would not be terribly discreet to get into the details, but for the public, the EDA, EDP, EDC, Economic Development Authority, the partnership, and the corporation, we have been thinking for weeks that we had issues settled out. But folks, they are not settled out, and I have grave concerns if we simply go back to 14 and a half years of experience that we're all aware of that has caused us, yeah, I'd like you to say that aloud, that has caused us to sever our relationships. At one point I was wearing 3 hats from the court, as a board member of EDP, and in the construction of their bylaws, and it's woefully behind schedule in our getting the feedback on those bylaws, but we're getting feedback that for my vote and my vote perhaps alone is totally unacceptable. Beyond that, Judge, I'm a personal friend of Lawrence Hogue. I was thrilled to be part of the process, and then at the flight of the B-25, and if it would be appropriate to either acknowledge him and his birthday on Friday, or perhaps all the 5 World War II veterans, the greatest generation, if we could, and there's no other proposal for it, I'd like to adjourn in their names.
Do you have all the names?
We can get those, Julie. We're so fortunate. There are fewer than 200,000 out of 11 million World War II veterans who are still with us. My father and father-in-law are among those who are flying in heaven, both of them in the Air Force. I'm through, Judge.
Okay.
Can I
Go ahead.
present something?
Yes, sir.
We as a county got quite a bit of publicity in County Line magazine, and I know that everybody is after Phil to get his signature on it, so I'd like to present Phil with an extra copy of his pictures with his scholarships that he gave away, and say thank you for the advertising that you're getting from Boyle County. So if y'all would pass that down to him, because he may be selling his signature, I don't know.
Yeah. Hard to get his autograph these days. He's
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's giving you that as an extra copy.
I would not want to miss anybody whose name was there of the 5 to 7 on last week. So without their names.
Just generally.
Well, just generally, do that for World War II veterans.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Counselor?
County Attorney's Office has been busy this summer. We've done some renovation to accommodate the second Assistant County Attorney that I was awarded. And it's a process where we're kind of packed in there, but we're making it work with 2 people. Where Patrick Barsati's office, he just had that office by himself. Now he shares it with Sarah Bryant. But you know, we had to spend some money to make it work, but it's working out, and Sarah Bryant's working out great for us. Her knowledge of being a defense attorney for the public defender's office, now she's able to apply it to her prosecution, and she's made the switch over just great. Now she's on the right side of the law, so we appreciate her being here. We've been busy with fiscal court items. Julie and I met with Earl Coffey and Stephen Dexter about bylaws for the EDA agreement. We did that earlier this month. Also, Julie had to leave, but I met with Earl and Mr. Dexter about White's Park, because we're supposed to, there was a talk of us doing a land swap over there by the Humane Society. And I know that I play tennis, and a lot of people are like, hey, we're getting a new tennis court. I'm like, no, you're not, because that's where they're supposed to build it, and we don't have any agreement. So, they had to tear down the Boyle County high school tennis courts because they're putting in a girls' softball facility there where the courts were. So, as of now, I don't know that of any courts being built at this present time or in the immediate near future. So. Last week, I worked on we never really have a Humane Society agreement like set in stone with the fiscal court, so Julie brought that to my attention, and
We need that.
I worked on one, and I spoke with one of my counterparts in Logan County, and kind of borrowed from his agreement with the Logan County's agreement with the Humane Society there, and kind of trying to tailor it to us. But yeah, we need to get that in place, definitely. About a month or 2 ago, I applied to go to a conference. It's called the Crimes Against Children. It's in Dallas, Texas. I'd gotten an email where the state police were going to fund 10 prosecutors to go there, and you had to apply, and I was one of the 10 selected. So that's August 8th through 11th. I'm going to that, so I'm really excited, other than it's going to probably be hot as Hades there.
120 degrees in Texas right now.
Right, so, and further, Bourbon Chase is coming up. It's September 30th through October 1st this year, and, just our county gets a lot of people, because we're kind of like a major stop for that Bourbon Chase, so, I think that we should definitely, rev up and welcome all the people that will be coming through Danville, because a lot of people will be coming through here, and it's a big event. I know some people don't like it because they see the people running down the back roads and so forth, and yes, it is kind of dangerous, but it's a great event, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, one thing I meant to ask before about, Chris brought it up. Chris turned over a check to us for proceeds, and he's had a lot of expenses. I know some counties will usually, sometimes depending on the check amount, turn that back over to the county attorney's office. So I don't know if we need a motion or what, but I think that with all of the expenses the county attorney's office had to endure trying to getting everything in here, and I'd like to have us turn that, I think it was about $1,600 back over to them to help cover some of the expenses that they've had for all these desks, and they've donated some of the old furniture to various areas in the courthouse too. So
we spent over $7,000 to do that renovation to fit everybody.
I would entertain a motion to return that back to council.
I'll make that motion.
County Attorney's Office for.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made by Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Gay to return, that payment that the clerk, the attorney had made to the fiscal court back to them to cover expenses incurred. Any other questions or comments or discussions on the motion?
Does he really need it?
Yes, sir. The city spent $7,000 on that alone.
1,600 might help a little.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, every bit
Little
helps
bit helps.
definitely.
For purpose of the minutes, should we have the exact figure?
Yeah, what was the 1,000?
Is it in the last month's minutes?
Should be, but whatever it is, you don't have to.
Right, it's like
That number.
I just think
1,600.
for the record,
I'll plug it in.
We'll plug it into the minutes,
Thank
the
you.
exact figure for the 1,600.
it was 16 something.
It was $1,633.34.
$33.
And that was money that he collected on bad check collections.
163.
Which I have to turn over each year.
1633.34.
Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, everybody.
Anything else? Okay. My turn, we'll wrap it up. We almost made an hour, and that would have been a new world record, but we didn't get there.
I tried.
Tom.
Went over 5 minutes.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
1 minute over.
Just real quick, I had a meeting last week with BCTC, Dr. Akapo, and Dr. Tipton, and we, along with Tim Bryant, EMS, we're moving to get some training done in-house, along with BCTC to help train EMTs and paramedics and the EMTs. So we're working those processes out. I plan to go visit the Boyle County Board of Education and see if I can do anything to help stimulate some reconnections with BCTC to help us on those kinds of issues. I'm excited about the North Point Fire Station number 8, and it's groundbreaking this coming Thursday. Please, if you haven't already done so, get your acknowledgements in on the Ethics Committee paperwork that everybody says, we need to do.
Judge, on that point with meeting with the officials at Boyle County High School, since I got certified to teach there and I know those players very well, I would love to have the opportunity to be with you, because that's such an important initiative for BCTC to start getting those young men and women over there. We've all been through it since their expansion. It's just an extraordinary opportunity not to incur $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of debt per year to go to college and come out ready to earn money. So I'd very much like to be part of that.
And they're very interested. I've had conversations with Stephanie Wade, who runs the nursing program, and this would fit in there perfectly.
That's critical.
Yeah. I hope that with the Bourbon Chase coming up in September, October, that the county and the city will have a more of a hospitable opportunity to invite and participate and welcome the groups that come through here on that run than we've had in the past. And I don't know who's listening, but I plan to reach out to CBB and others to make sure that we are included in that opportunity. I don't have anything else that I can think of right now. I will get you some information between now and then of a procedural kind of concept with SRO improvement processes between now and next court for open discussion on that. And I would like to adjourn in honor of our World War II veterans, whose average age right now is probably in the mid-90s. And recently there was an opportunity for them to be recognized here in Danville and Boyle County, and we had 7 that were recognized. 5 actually flew in a B-25, and that will be a memory that they will cherish their remaining days here on this earth, and it was a great opportunity to honor them in their service. So we will adjourn in honor of all World War II veterans.
So moved.
And motion to do so made by Magistrate
Second.
Ellis and seconded by Magistrate Sammons. And let's vote on that so everybody has participation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Well, it carries unanimously, and we are in adjournment in honor of them. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.